Just as Josie heaved a sigh of relief, she wondered, where is he heading? Then she quickly shook her head. It's none of my business. Legally, he's my husband, but that's just a title. Josie didn't want to bump into Dexter the following day since their working hours were the same. Hence, she woke up early and went to the office. However, she met Patrick Davidson, her manager. She smiled and greeted him. "Good morning, Mr. Davidson." He nodded and looked at her. "I'm having dinner with our business partners tonight. You're going to join us as well. Remember to dress up. We can't afford to let them down." "Me?" she asked in surprise. "Who else is here?" Patrick snapped impatiently. "It's just a meal. You can submit your resignation letter right now if you don't want to go." Josie hesitated. She didn't want to join such social events, but if I reject him, she shot a look at Patrick. "Forget it. It's just dinner." "All right. I'll be there on time." Patrick's stern expression eased. "Okay. I'll send the address to you later. Don't be late." With that, he went into his office. Josie sighed and turned on her laptop. However, she saw a green screen. A virus had attacked her laptop. She was on the verge of breaking down. "My designs for the food packaging are in there. If the system is down, my designs are gone. How am I so unlucky? I didn't get to back up my files," she muttered. Seeing it was unresponsive, she called the technical team to fix it. At that moment, Patrick's voice rang from his office. "Josie, show me your designs now." "Yes." Josie was flustered to hear that. "It seems like God doesn't want me to have a good time." With an uneasy feeling in her stomach, she walked into the office. "Mr. Davidson, my laptop just broke down. The designs also." Before she could finish her sentence, a figure walked past her and placed some designs on the table. "Mr. Davidson, these are my designs. I printed them out to show you. If you think it's acceptable, you can use them." It was Samantha. The designs she just handed in were precisely the same as Josie's. It was blatant that she plagiarized them from Josie. Just as Josie wanted to speak up, Samantha turned and looked at her haughtily with her chin in the air. "Josie, if you haven't finished your work, just tell us the truth. You don't have to fabricate such a lousy excuse. Aren't you just finding excuses for your laziness?" Josie clenched her fists tightly. "I would like to ask, why are your designs exactly the same as mine?" she demanded firmly. "Exactly the same. Interesting. Are you accusing me of plagiarizing your work? Where's your proof?" "Without any evidence, you are ruining my reputation." Anger rose within Josie, but she knew it was not the right time to unleash her fury. First of all, she had no evidence Samantha plagiarized her work. Apart from that, she lost all her designs. It was even harder to prove she was the original designer. This must be Samantha's doing. Back when I first joined, she kept giving me a hard time, but I didn't expect her to use such an unethical tactic. Josie pursed her lips with determination blazing in her eyes. "You may be gloating now, but you will pay the price for your actions. I will definitely find evidence." "Enough," Patrick yelled at Josie. "Just tell us if you haven't finished your work. There's no need to fabricate such excuses. Do you think you can do anything you want just because you have a little talent? The design department is already sick of your attitude. Do you know that? Write a 10,000-word report, or start cleaning the department as punishment." Josie looked at him coldly. "Mr. Davidson, those are my designs. I will prove it." Patrick let out a cold snort and looked at the locked door. "Prove it? So what if you prove that? If I say Samantha designed this, do you think the higher-ups would doubt it?" Josie clenched her fists tightly. "Mr. Davidson. Josie, you have been here for a long time. Don't blame me for being ruthless. It won't be good for everyone." "From your tone, you seem to know I'm the original creator." Patrick smiled. "You saw for yourself. Samantha passed this to me. Why are you still here accusing her?" Samantha interjected. "Josie, I understand you would like to be promoted, but you can't fake it. It's not a big deal that you slack off for a bit. Just take note of it next time. Samantha and Patrick brushed Josie aside. Aren't you worried this might reach Mr. Russell? Samantha laughed. Josie, stop daydreaming. Why would Mr. Russell even agree to see you? Have a good look at yourself in the mirror, and stop flattering yourself also. Don't ruin his reputation. Her voice was thick with scorn. Josie snorted and left. Back in her seat, her chest heaved unevenly. At that moment, she wanted to barge into Dexter's office to tell him everything, but she was worried that he might not even care about such a small matter. On top of that, she didn't want to trouble him. Enter text. Forget it. I'll solve my own problems. There's a minor defect in my designs. If Samantha uses it, there will be some problems. The technical team fixed her laptop, but just as she expected, her designs were gone. She wasn't even annoyed by that. During the lunch break, she went to the surveillance room. The room was located at the back of the first floor. As soon as she got out of the elevator, she met Dexter. How is it such a coincidence? Hello, Mr. Russell. She nodded at him. His cold voice rang just when she walked past him. What's wrong? He asked after seeing the dejected look on her face. She forced a smile. It's nothing. I lost something. So I'm going to look at the surveillance cameras. Dexter didn't suspect anything. I see. What is it? Josie didn't want to tell him too many details. It's just an insignificant thing. Would she go to such lengths to look for it if it's insignificant? Do you need my help? It's okay. Thanks. Dexter's assistant was surprised to see their exchange. Since when did Mr. Russell care about others? She's just a designer here. This is a huge scoop. Nevertheless, he merely straightened his glasses and pretended that he hadn't noticed anything. If you need my help, you are always welcome to my office on the top floor, Dexter offered. Thanks, but no thanks. Seeing her adamant attitude, Dexter left with his assistant without any other comments. Josie sighed in relief and made her way to the surveillance room. There, she found out that all the recordings from the morning had been deleted. I should have thought of that, she thought in despair. That's why Samantha and Mr. Davidson were so bold. Since they had already destroyed the evidence, they were confident I wouldn't find anything. Beep. Her phone rang. She checked her messages and saw that it was about the designs for the food packaging with Samantha's name on them. Josie tightened her fingers around her phone resentfully, but she could do nothing. After work, Josie received Patrick's timely message. Since she was going to the dinner, she hailed a cab to Victoria Restaurant in Waverly. Josie, why aren't you here yet? Patrick asked sternly. Looking at the traffic outside, Josie quickly replied, I'm almost there. The traffic is heavy. You have 15 more minutes. If you're not here by then, you have to bear the consequences. With that, he hung up, leaving Josie thunderstruck. Since she was not that far from the restaurant, she opened the door and ran in its direction. Not long after that, she heard someone beeping the car horn behind her. A familiar Maybach stopped in front of her. Mr. Russell. She yelped in surprise. Why is he here? Why are you here? Her forehead was dripping with sweat. Where are you going? I can send you. Josie wanted to reject him, but seeing she was running late, she took his offer and got into his car. As soon as she told him the address, he started driving. When they arrived, Josie thanked him and ran into the restaurant. Dexter frowned at her and made a call. I'm changing the venue. I'll send the address over shortly. He hung up and found a parking spot. Then, he walked into the same restaurant. It was a Western restaurant with a European renovation style. As the head chef was a famous chef from France, the restaurant garnered much interest among the upper class. Patrick stopped her at the door of the private room. Why are you so late? The traffic was terrible. I have to make this clear to you. Josie, this deal is crucial to us. It will benefit you if you can sign this deal. Before Josie could digest his implied meaning, he shoved her into the room. Sorry for being late. Everyone in the room was Russell Group's business partner. They turned around and appraised her. You must be Josie. Mr. Davidson mentioned you just now, Alec Winsfield said with a smile. You're finally here, Josie, Oliver Hudson added. Patrick told us that you're a real beauty. Now that we've met you, I must admit that he was not exaggerating. Oh, you flatter me too much, Mr. Hudson. Josie was bright and elegant. One couldn't find any fault with her. However, Oliver handed her a glass of red wine. Since you're late, you have to start with drinking 3 glasses of wine as punishment.